Donald Trump knows very little about being president of the United States, but he knows even less about the judicial branch of the federal government. And that includes knowing anything at all about the very judges that he put in power during his first term in office. Last week, Donald Trump was smacked down by another federal judge that ordered the return of one of the migrants that he shipped off to El Salvador, a 20-year-old named Daniel Lozano Camargo. This was an individual that was in the United States as an official asylum seeker. They did not come here illegally. They came here seeking asylum. They were awaiting their court date to argue their case for asylum, but the Trump administration said, screw it, get out of here, you're going to CCOT in El Salvador. And the judge, Judge Stephanie Gallagher, said, absolutely not, get this man back here, you have denied him his due process. So Donald Trump, in response to this ruling last week, got on Truth Social and said, quote, "Our court system is not letting me do the job I was elected to do. Activist judges must let the Trump administration deport murderers and other criminals who have come into our country illegally without delay." Again, this was an asylum seeker, so they weren't here illegally. As far as I've seen, they do not have a criminal record. They are sure as hell not a murderer, but they sent this man down to the El Salvadoran prison regardless. But it's because of these damn activist judges, right? Well, what Donald Trump didn't mention is that this judge, Stephanie Gallagher, is not just any kind of activist judge. She's a judge that he appointed during his first term in office. It is a Trump appointee, so I think calling them an activist judge is probably correct. They probably had to go through all kinds of, discussions with Republicans about how right-wing they are. But when it comes to the issue of due process, believe it or not, that used to, 4 months ago, not be a left or right issue. That was just something that both sides of the political, aisles here could agree that, yeah, everybody gets due process. But apparently now, siding with the Constitution makes you an activist and means that, by God, Donald Trump can't do his job. People elected him to do this, and you're not letting him do it. Well, one of the counter arguments to that, of course, is that the judge was appointed by you to do a job, and you're not letting her do her job, right? I mean, did you ever think about the flip side of that, Donnie? Because that's what's happening here. Not to mention the fact that, yeah, you're allowed to do your job, but nowhere in that job description, the oath of office, does it say disregard the Constitution and do whatever the hell you want. That's not part of the job, but that's what you're doing. In fact, to be honest with you, regardless of you saying you don't know if you have to uphold the Constitution, it's literally in the oath of office that you will uphold the Constitution. So you're not doing your job. You're doing the opposite of your job, the opposite of the oath you took to get the job. The judge, however, is doing her job, as are all of the other judges. But it's really starting to get under Donald Trump's skin. Because, according to a report from Bloomberg that came out late last week, Donald Trump has now suffered more than 200 court losses since he was sworn in on January 20th, 2025 at noon Eastern. Over 200 losses. And the guy hasn't even been in office for 115 days. So we're talking about more than one loss every day at this point. Almost 2 losses per day. That is how little regard this administration has for the law. And this is not, for the record, the only Trump-appointed judge that has struck him down. Plenty of the judges that have struck him down have been judges he put on the bench. And yeah, there's been liberal judges. There's also been conservative judges appointed by other conservative presidents. It's kind of an across-the-board thing. Left, right, center, doesn't matter. When you're violating the Constitution, the judge is going to put aside their own political leanings and side with the Constitution because, just like it's supposed to be with you, Donald, it's their job to protect the Constitution. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.